I really wish my coffee had milk in it.
Yeah, it was pretty harsh.
It's intense.
Yeah, that's why I thought it was espresso.
Yeah.
It's like...
Maybe next we should try the espresso to see the difference. And then we'll be like in the office and we can rip up the carpet and stuff.
No carpet. No carpet to rip up.
Hello everyone, welcome back to Foster the Meeple, a channel all about
Board games.
and
Board gamey things.
Exactly. We are back again today with our annual board game resolutions video. Now, if you've not seen one of these before, what happens is that Jeff and I set some resolutions for the year. The year of 2025. Okay, that's this year. But first, what we do is we take a look back at the goals and the resolutions we made in the previous year, the year of 2024, the year of Nandor, as I like to call it. So Jeff and I set some goals, and typically we set these goals, and then we set it and we forget it. We don't look at them again.
Immediately.
It's really fun to do. So that's how we're going to start. We're going to start off by reviewing our goals from last year, discussing whether or not we did it.
I'm trying to remember any of them.
And then we will talk about what our resolutions are going to be for 2025. So
I don't remember any of them.
Jeff, are you ready? I have my laptop here.
See, the thing about me, too, is I get, like, so intense sometimes. I'm like, oh, yeah, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this.
Yeah.
And I'm like, do you not have any self-awareness?
No, but nobody has self-awareness for resolutions.
You know what I mean, though?
Oh, it's the new year.
I get so high horsey. I'm gonna do all these things, and I'm like, a week goes by, and I'm just like, nope.
Nah. Let's take a look back to 2024.
I think one thing we got away from in 2023 that I would like to return to in 2024 is doing more collaborations with friends. I think this is
more collaborations.
I don't know why we didn't. It's really hard to schedule these things.
It's so hard to schedule these things. I think, did we even film a video with like Max and Danielle while they were here? No, we did with Nick in the hot tub.
Yeah, I guess we did one.
With Nick. You did 2 videos with Nick in the hot tub. Tub time with Jeff and Nick.
I mean, it's the fact that we have to sit here and try to remember, I feel like doesn't count as being successful.
I always love to do collaborations, but if we're being like truthy fruitsies, then that's the only thing I could think of to rhyme with truthsies. They're hard to do, and sometimes you like schedule them and you're like, ugh, I don't really feel like doing this. Because it's usually like time zones are an issue.
Time zones are a major issue.
Everything happens for us so late.
Yeah, like, I mean,
so late.
Anytime when you want to play games with like table knots, they're only like an hour ahead of us.
But they got so many kids.
But I mean, everyone's got lives and responsibilities and whatever. So, like, for example, if we want to play games with the Table Knots crew, it's not starting until, like, 10 p.m. our time.
Yeah.
Anytime
That's way past Jeff's bedtime.
Anytime I'm on their podcast, I'm starting to record at, like, 10 or 11 o'clock our time.
Yep.
It's very difficult. I know Sam wants, Lord of the Board, go check him out, wants to collaborate. But that's a 4-hour time difference. Yeah. Like,
even Tyler and Illy is a 3-hour. Like, Nick and Mike are a 4-hour. It's difficult to schedule them. This is where all the excuses start coming.
I don't think they're excuses. I think those are valid hurdles.
Yeah.
I'm not carrying forward that resolution.
No. If it happens, it happens.
I just think it's there's too many variables on our end, on our content creator friends' ends. And like, I am especially like this, and I would say you are too. I hate commitment. Like, I despise having to be on someone else's schedule. Yeah. I'm like that with, like, work meetings. I'm like that with filming. Like, I hate having to be on someone's time.
Yeah. The one way we did collaborate this year, though, is we were both on the Table Knots podcast a few times, and that is Board Game Box Office. If you haven't listened to it, you should. So that was our main way of collaborating. It was just on their staff
and
and not on
I'm gonna do that again. I mean, I think I just
me
mentioned to Max that I'm ready to go back on because the setup's done.
Ready. Oh, okay. First one is that I would like to host another 24-hour game-a-thon that is better planned out. So, yes, we nailed that.
Yeah.
So we did do another 24-hour game-a-thon, and it was definitely better planned out. I think the first year that we did it, the biggest...
ambitions were too high.
The ambitions were too high. It was our first time ever streaming. And we decided to do it for 24 hours straight.
With a bunch of guests.
And we had guests in the first year. Now, the second year, last year, this year that we just did it, we didn't have any guests. Because then, if we needed a break, we could take a break when we needed it. But we did jam-pack the schedule still with like some like sponsored plays and stuff. But I still thought that was fine.
No, this one was infinitely better.
This one was infinitely better.
The fact that I wasn't sick.
Yes.
But yeah, it was way better.
And I started to like plan it in January, which I'm already starting to plan this next one. And whereas the other one, it's like, do you want to do this? And it was like a month.
Yeah.
And it was just wild. So anyways, we definitely
just a couple
nailed
of kids
it.
not knowing the implications of the decisions made. And
even like the one that's going to be happening this year is going to be even better planned because every year we learn, and we've got our friends Ben and Sarah coming to join us for this one, which already in and of itself, for it to not just be the two of us, makes a huge difference.
Yeah.
So, nailed it.
All right, next up for me is painting. So, funnily enough...
So I just want to, because I did watch this yesterday just to like refresh my mind. And you go on to say like everything that's currently primed in my office, in my queue, will be painted by the end of this year. That was the full statement.
Do you want to know how much I got done of it?
You painted some.
I mean, yeah. Very minimal.
What did you paint? A couple of Cthulhu Death May Die.
I did a couple of Cthulhu. I did Ninja Turtles. I didn't finish it though.
Even me, I got Jeff to prime, or my brother to prime all of the Wonderland Tour stuff.
They were all down in the...
I painted two things.
They were all down in the... I'll be honest, that annoys me a little bit, because they're all still primed.
Yeah. They're here.
You're never going to paint those.
Yes, I will. Maybe I'll make it a goal for this year.
I was actually just talking to a couple friends and Jamie about this. My painting, I mentioned in the mental health video, is definitely a way for me to unwind, but I feel like that hasn't been the case when I've been painting recently. It's almost started to feel obligatory, and once that happens, I'm done. I think part and parcel of why I liked painting and why it was happening so much is we used to game with more people. Jason used to come over and play games, and Zach, and painting was always like, hey, like, look at this. Yeah. I painted for other people, realistically. Yes. And their experience. And that hasn't happened. It's basically just Jamie and I. And it's not that I don't care
Doesn't want to impress
I don't care about Jamie's...
We're beyond that.
Game experience. But it's not the same when it's Jamie.
No.
Like, Jamie and I live together and are married.
That's true.
All these other things. I don't feel like I need to impress Jamie at this point anymore. Maybe I do. I don't know. But yeah, I think part of it is we might have some friends moving here at some point this year, and they would immediately become our gaming group. And if that happens, then I think I'd start painting again, because then it would be a thing where we could collectively experience the painted miniatures together. I need to get back to it. It's just I also think a product of it is I have too many hobbies now. And you can't, like, I'm back into playing retro video games, and quite honestly, that brings me more joy than painting does. Right, and that's just a reality. I have a lot of stuff I very much want to paint. And I just I think I need to get some new paint and get that momentum swinging again.
My next one is I want to make more silly, classic Foster the Meeple content.
And it's tough.
It's tough.
Don't you even try to pretend like you did this.
No, I think, here's the thing. I made more content, that's for sure. But we did do, specifically in December, we got to do some more silly stuff again. I didn't do nearly as much as I wanted to. I didn't.
Here's the question. Are you going to lie to yourself and pretend that you completed this? Because...
I think I did a little bit of it. I think, like, here's the thing. This is the kind of content that I love to make. And I think it's the kind of content that you like to make in comparison.
Depends on the type, but yeah, sure.
Like the bad reviews, that video that we did. Or like recreating from memory the board game. Like those types of things that are just silly. I think that like this year was such a year in flux that like I had all these big plans and these big ideas, and it's like everything was rushed constantly because we were constantly traveling. Like we traveled almost every month, sometimes twice in a month. And when that happens, I have to pre-record and produce a bunch of content.
That's going to continue though.
But not as bad because you're going to be gone for a while, but I'm not.
Sure.
So I'm traveling less. So we'll see. Anyways, did I complete it? To be determined. I don't know if I did or not. Jeff thinks I didn't.
I'm throwing out solo games again.
Solo YOLO.
I played 5 last year. I still struggle with solo games though. Yeah, I would not say I've completed that.
Did you play any?
I don't think so.
Halls of Hegra?
Correct. Yeah. I played Halls of Hegra like probably 3 or 4 times.
I think there's another one you played, but I don't remember.
This is another one I want to carry over. I mean, I just took out Earthborn Rangers. I don't know if it's going to happen. This is one that I just feel like will be a perpetual struggle. But
yeah, because you're always going to choose a video game over a board game.
Yeah, always.
Okay, my next one is I want to work consistently on my game design.
Consistently.
Consistently being the key word. So, my game design, I have a lot done.
Yeah.
Like, a lot.
You had a lot done back in July.
Yes. So, I had almost, like, the entire game designed. And then I was talking to people about cost for art and realized I need to change some things to have, so I need less art and less cards. It's an asymmetrical game. So I am now at the stage where I have basically scrapped 2 of the characters and I need to redesign them. So consistently, I did work on this a lot.
You give yourself a lot of grace.
That's fine. You're supposed to. So, but there was a period of time where I was consistently like working on this.
And then it stopped in July.
Yeah, I don't remember. It was all the travel, Gen Con, all of that stuff. But
you just blame everything on Gen Con.
I do. Gen Con's the worst. Anyways, I did get a huge portion of this design because I just hammered it out. Yep. And it's basically all I thought about, all I talked about, all I did for like a solid 3 months.
Jamie has these bursts of creativity.
Yeah, I do.
And I mean this in the nicest way. Sometimes
it's gonna be an insult.
Jamie doesn't finish on those bursts. She gets the creative burst and then doesn't finish and gets another creative burst somewhere else.
I get redirected.
And pivots.
Like a squirrel.
And then that'll happen again and again and again.
But I'll talk about this more later. But I would say from that point, at that point when we did this video, I had zero.
Yeah. No, you did.
Zero done.
You're again, you went through a burst from
like,
February to July.
I did the rule book. I had prototypes. I like all of this stuff.
I mean, there's also part of our Kickstarter is you playtesting with people, so that's going to be something you need to do anyway.
Jeff got to playtest my game.
Yes, I did.
So there you go. We want to plan a better meetup for PAX. Like actually crushed it.
Done.
And the thing is, we were talking about this. So better meetup for PAX. We were like thinking we were going to have to pay all this money to do a rent a space, but PAX actually offers like you can apply for a community meetup room, and we did that. And it was so much better because we had a dedicated space. It was too short and a little chaotic.
Yep.
But that's just like us. We're a little bit too short and a little bit too chaotic.
Yeah, fair.
So it works. I don't know how Jeff is going to feel about this because I know we kind of differ on this, but I would love to do more playthroughs. We definitely did more playthroughs.
Yeah, I came around on the playthroughs.
Yeah, I think here's the difference. So we did do more playthroughs this year, but we didn't do them this way because I know that I was talking about us just doing a playthrough for a board game that we loved. because the playthroughs that we do are typically sponsored.
Yeah.
With the exception of my solo mode videos on Board Game Geek, like technically, obviously BGG pays me to do those, but I get to pick whatever game I want.
The money's come from BGG,
not from the publisher. So
yeah.
I could pick whatever I want, long game, short game, just as long as it's a game I love.
Yep.
And I have really enjoyed doing that. I really like editing playthroughs, and we've had a lot more multiplayer playthroughs with Matt.
I do enjoy the ones Matt comes over.
Yeah.
I like the live.
Yeah, live streams for sure.
And it's a product of like specifically what game we're doing, because I would say I enjoy doing light middleweight playthroughs. If it's a heavy game, I don't want to.
Yeah, because we're like, everybody knows we're not king and queen of the rule book. We just play to have fun and play to showcase the game as best we can. And the problem with doing playthroughs is people are kings and queens of rule books and care if a little teeny mistake was made, and we just don't care. Yeah. And so that's the struggle.
It goes into the like, what's the purpose of a playthrough? And
for us is to have fun.
We believe the purpose of a playthrough is just to see the overall, how the components move, how the game plays generally, and the enjoyment around the table. It's not how to play. Yeah. And some people view a playthrough as a how to play, and they'd be like, well, you did this wrong, and you did that wrong, and you did this wrong.
Your strategy here was not good. And
at 6:18, Jeff moved his pawn here, and he shouldn't have been able to, and it's like, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, our response to that is always going to be, oops, well.
Again, like, playthroughs are playthroughs, how to plays are how to plays. They're two separate things.
Yeah. Our playthroughs reflect what it's like to play a game in real life, where real people play real board games and make real mistakes.
Yeah. And don't live in a rule book, because no one wants to play that way.
Ugh, no thank you. My last one is, I would like to play through our collection. Can we do it?
No, because our collection, no.
That was the big, hairy, audacious goal. Can we play through a whole collection? No. But this year, one of the things that we are going to do for sure is take a week and see how many games we can play from our collection. Our collection is just too big. It's unreal. It was unrealistic for me to think that could ever be possible.
And listen, like,
but it was fun to think about it.
We inherently play a lot of games.
Yeah.
Like, just inherently, we play a lot of games. I mean, as you probably saw in our other video. So, like,
but we inherently also get
I know,
a lot
and
of
that was going to be my next point. Like, we don't tend to make a lot of progress through that collection phase because, like, you know, we have a lot of games that come in on a weekly basis.
Yep.
So it's really hard to make traction.
Exactly. So those are our goals in 2023, 2024. Some of them we achieved. Many of them we did not, because we are but mere mortals who forgets about the goals that we set for ourselves. Let's talk about 2025. Now, I did write some down.
Yeah, I realistically, like, I think for me this year, there's like two main... I think I need to focus on like two things.
Yeah.
And if I have more than that, I'm going to fail. And all of the ones I've already mentioned, I think, are subsidiary goals that I want to...
Like painting
more
and
playing solo games. Like, if I can get those done, great. But there's two for me that are very important that I'm really going to try and focus on. But you can start, because I realistically only have two things.
I have many. Yeah. Of course, because that is how I live my life.
That's how Jamie does it.
But my first one... I think Jeff will be really proud of me. It's not about board gaming, but it is just to slow down and do more things for me. When we were at PAX, we had a conversation with our friends, and they asked, like, what have you done for just you for fun to me? And I was like, I don't remember. Besides going to Disney, I don't do anything for me for just fun. The other day, I bought a puzzle. And I sat, just don't laugh my puzzle thing.
I didn't say anything.
So I was like, oh, I could put together my puzzle. And then I stood there and I was like, I shouldn't. I should edit that video. And Jeff was like, no, you don't need to edit the video. And it's not even a video that was going on the channel. It was a video for Patreon, which could have waited. And so I was like, okay. So I did start at my puzzle. But like, the thing is, there's always something work-related, channel-related for me to be doing. And my mindset is constantly like, well, if I just do it now, I'll have more time later. But the problem is there's always more. And so I never have time, and I don't prioritize myself and my, I don't know if happiness is the right word, but like my mental health.
I would argue that you need time blocks. You've done time blocking in the past, and I think you need to do it again. So that, you need to get out of the mindset now that the channel stuff needs to be done when you're not working, essentially.
Because I'll do it all day, all night.
Because in the past, Jamie would work her full-time job, and then it was like, okay, well, once that ends at like 5 o'clock, well, now it's time that I work on Foster the Meeple, and that's not the reality anymore.
No. That's going to be a total shift.
That's where I think, Jamie has to mentally get through those hoops of understanding that, I can work from 8 to 5 on channel stuff. I have plenty of time to get through the things I need to get through, and I don't need to stress about it. Some of my favorite moments are literally just seeing Jamie like on her Steam Deck.
I was on my Steam Deck
and
all night.
And like it honestly brings me a ton of joy because I know she's just. I mean, I'm sure there's that internal turmoil of like, oh, I could be doing something productive here.
Yeah.
But
Do you want to? Here's the scenario. Last night, I was editing a video. Power went out. Pew.
And then you immediately came to bed and started playing on your Steam Deck.
Yes. I was like, I have nothing to do now. I can enjoy myself.
I think fundamentally too, like maybe when you're doing a puzzle, like you need to get lost into something else.
Yeah.
Like you need to like quiet the brain. So like, maybe like throw on a podcast or something that's taking the attention.
Yeah.
And while doing the monotonous thing.
The last night I tried to work on my puzzle, but I had the kitten out and he kept stealing my puzzle pieces. So I was like, I can't do this. That's why I thought I put the lid on the table because he kept taking my pieces.
But yeah, I think that is a very, I think that's going to be a very difficult goal.
Yes.
But I think it's a very, very important one.
Especially since some of the other goals I have set might be a little bit contradictory to that, but it's fine. My next one is to stream more consistently.
Yeah.
Now, I think like Jeff just mentioned time blocking. I am going to be doing that, wherein I'm going to be setting like every Tuesday at 1 p.m. I stream a solo board game or whatever. And then every Thursday I'll stream on Everyday Magic doing a video game or something like that. But I really, really, really enjoy streaming, like a lot. And now that I have time during the day to actually do it, it'll be more realistic. But I would also like to get back to you and me streaming, even if it's like once a month, we do a board game stream or whatever it might be, because I've always had such a good time doing the board game live streams when we would do Sunday Fun Day. Problem is when we started streaming, we went too heavy.
Yeah, and I think where I would cut in on this and it like Sunday Fun Day stuff. The problem I'm currently having is Jamie has to navigate my schedule. And so the times where she is able or we are able to film is when it's my off time. So while Jamie has been able to do this full time and, is then now permitted the weekends and evenings to spend on her own, I don't have that luxury. I'm still working full time. So then she has to grab me in the evenings and weekends to do stuff. And that's work. No matter how you put it, whether it's a live stream to play a game, whether it's to do a video like this, that is work.
Yeah.
And it's been becoming more and more difficult for me to facilitate that.
Yeah.
Where it's like, well, okay, Jeff, it's Sunday at 1 o'clock. Like, we have to go stream for 3 hours. It's like, great. Well, there goes my time. There goes my time to recover for my full-time job on Monday. And that's something we both need to figure out.
Yeah.
Because that's not going to be any easier at any point in the future.
No.
Jamie doing this full-time is going to alleviate a lot of stress, but there's also just stuff inherently that we're going to continue to have to navigate.
There are going to be more just Jamie videos this year because like I've taken over all of the previews. Jeff doesn't need to worry about doing that. Any how to play videos, it'll just be me. If I can stream or do a playthrough solo, I can do that. But like the magic of our channel is this. It's both of us. And so we just need to figure out a better balance for Jeff and his work schedule.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, like, again, like, I want to be clear that this this doesn't mean I'm not interested in being on the channel because I'm on it less.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, again, I work full time, and my responsibilities are extravagant enough that it's mentally exhausting at the end of the day.
Yep.
And so to then be like, okay, let's get up and film for 3 hours is tough. It's difficult, and it's just something we have to figure out.
Yep. My next one, actually, it just ties into all of this, which is create a filming schedule.
Yeah.
Like, I just need to create schedules for everything. Schedules for live stream. I am very good at scheduling stuff. Like, our Airtable with our film, like, what videos we have to do, locked down. But, like, actually setting the time to film, and then that way we could just put it into Jeff's schedule, and then he knows, and then I know. Like, I just need to get a structure for that. So actually do a filming schedule, because that is something that we have not had. It's just been like, well, there's a video on Thursday, so let's do Thursday and Saturday, and
there's X videos we need to do. How many can we get done in X period of time?
Exactly. So those are my first three.
And again, like, I think we're both kind of somewhat proactive people for the most part, but a lot of the time with the channel recently, it's become very reactive, where it's like, we let deadlines get to the very end, and then it's like, oh man, like, this video needs to go in 2 weeks, and it's just not viable.
Yep.
My first one, I don't think it's going to be a shock to you, but I'm going to try and reduce my digital footprint extravagantly. Is that the right word?
Juno is having the biggest drink.
Yeah, I don't know if extravagantly is the right terminology. Like, excessively decrease my digital footprint. And what I mean by that is, like, I'm going to play less BGA games. And there's a reason for all of this. So I'm going to play less BGA games. I'm going to spend less time on social media, which includes Discord and all of the social media apps. And I know Jamie's probably sitting there being like, yeah, okay. But this is a really important thing I need to figure out, because I've gotten so dependent on my laptop and my phone that it's actually starting to impact board games and video games and all of the other things that I now have no attention span for. For example, like, I was playing a video game the other day, and there was like a cinematographic. That's not the right word. Cinematic part of the story that was playing. I immediately grabbed my phone. Like, I immediately am like, oh, I'm no longer in this because I'm bored. Here's my phone.
Yeah.
And I need to try and rewire my
screens
brain.
on screens.
And like, honestly, it's the same with my laptop. Like, I'm just sitting in Discord, like, waiting for messages or like whatever, and I'm like, what am I doing? I'm not living a life that I find conducive to a long-term experience. Like, I just feel like I've become this digital float. So what I'm going to do, or what I'm going to try to do, is, like, realistically, I'm probably going to delete Instagram. I don't really use it.
Not the Foster the Meeple Instagram.
No, this is all personal stuff. Yes. Nothing to do with the channel. I'm going to delete my personal Instagram because I don't really use it. I'm going to delete Reddit because Reddit's a really bad one for me right now. I'm going to have a serious and, I think, difficult conversations with my friend groups, because all of my friend groups are online.
Yep.
Table Knots, Nick and Mike, Ryan and Ben, Sarah, Michelle, all of these people are online. And I need to go to them and say, and I need to open up and be like, hey, like, I need to take a step back. Because I'm the person that's constantly...
Jeff is the most social Discord person ever. Like, we have so many group chats, but then on top of that, Jeff has, like, 7 other group chats with other people, and he's active in all of them, like, every day, which is my literal nightmare.
Yeah,
you need to be a Jamie. You need to forget where you put your phone.
I need to get to a point where I can go to my friends, and I know they would all completely understand this, and say, hey, listen, like, I'm taking a step back from all of this stuff. I'm going to set, like, a couple hours a day where I'll check in with everyone and be like, hey, how's your day going? Whatever. I'm not going to...
It's not like you're not going to not hear from them that day.
No, like, but I might be like, okay, I'm not going to check my phone until, like, I don't know, 6 o'clock. And I'll check it for an hour and then it's gone again. Because I want to get back to being able to live. And I think this isn't just a me problem. I think a lot of people struggle with this. I just want to be able to live in the moment again.
Yeah.
And be able to sit and play a video game without the distractions of like, I wonder what people are talking about on Discord. Or like, I wonder if someone's messaged me. Or like that endless doom scrolling on Reddit for no reason.
Mm-hmm.
I just need to get a healthier relationship with screen time and not just my phone. That includes BGA. It includes like online gaming. I just need to take a step back and try to like get back in the moment of me. And that's probably like the sole focus for me this year, is just trying to stop being dependent on that stuff.
Fair enough. I don't have that problem.
No.
I can't keep up with anything. My next one is going to be to bring in less games, as in like buy less games. We can't control what gets sent to us. We can't control...
To some degree we can.
Yeah, we can to some degree, but like requesting only what we know we're going to be able to cover within the next X whatever, but like buying games, there's no need.
I think we've gotten pretty...
We have gotten better, but like we go through spurts.
We
and
do.
Like we went to Gen Con, PAX Unplugged, I was out of control.
Yeah, let's be clear.
I was out of control. Mm-hmm. But like, I just think, you know, sometimes even, I love supporting our local game stores, but like even we'll go to Lancelot Games every now and then that's just in town, and I'll just buy something because I'm there. And it's like, we have 1,500 games, and we have so many of those that we haven't played yet. And so many of them that are new games, and so many that are going to be coming in already, and we just cannot keep going at this pace. I just think it's a really interesting journey from when you first get into the hobby.
Sure.
Because we know people that are just getting into the hobby, and it's exciting, and I want to buy every game, and every day I'm on Board Game Bliss, and I'm going to the store, and like, what's this? I don't know, but we don't have that anymore, and maybe if we stop getting such an influx of games, we can get back to that a little bit. I don't know if you'll ever be able to get back to like the beginning.
No, I think that's a natural path. Like,
yeah.
You know, it's like watching a TV show for the first time.
Exactly.
You know, you're never going to get that magic back.
No,
but
speaking of which, we're on a rewatch of Game of Thrones. So good. So bloody. I want to also get back to regular game group sessions in person. We used to have like every other Tuesday, Matt would come over, we'd play games, and we would do like a monthly, have people over. And this year it's been a mess. Like we haven't been able to do that. But now that we have this space, because we're now in a town where everybody...
We're in a more central location.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's just easier for everyone, and I would like to get back to that. Create more just for fun content. That's on my list again. And I hope that is achievable. Like I want to do more... I just noticed that this has been in both of the videos recently. Just know that that's the corner of the monitor that I flipped upside down.
I can't even see it.
I couldn't see it. I'm sorry.
I don't think anyone's going to notice that.
Well, I just pointed it out so everybody will. Anyways, so what was I even talking about? Like this year I was able to do like the advice for starting a board game YouTube channel, the love letter.
Now that I saw that, I can't answer it.
Hold on, I'll move it. I'm sorry. Oh my God, you can see all of me now.
I just noticed you put your hand kind of in front of it, so. Yeah.
Anyways, but yeah, I did some creative stuff this year. I want to do more. I would like to do more vlogs, more solo vlogs, that kind of stuff, because that's what I really love doing.
I'm really excited to, and I want to explore more of the podcast stuff.
Oh, yeah.
I'm actually really excited for Jamie and I to explore that aspect of things that we haven't done on our own. I've done it through the Board Game Box Office, Tabletop Guys. Go check out that podcast if you like movies and games. And I very much enjoy being on with them. I like I like that environment where you don't feel the obligation to be on camera.
Yeah.
And to be clear, like some people when they get in front of a camera, they get uncomfortable, whatever. I've never, ever felt that. So take that for what it is. But I feel like podcasts are just a much more relaxed.
I feel like on a podcast, you feel like you could say whatever you want.
Yeah, and like
I don't feel that
I'm
way
excited
on video.
to kind of explore a bunch of different topics that maybe aren't super relevant for a YouTube format.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, it would make sense for a podcast. Like maybe we could talk about a little bit deeper dive on board games and mental health, or there's it's just a better medium, I think, for a little bit more dissecting of bigger, broader topics.
Mm-hmm. And people are more forgiving of you actually having discussion versus
and just being able to
quick.
just being able to talk and people consume that in any way they want. But like being able to talk about not just board games, like maybe we want to talk about something else, maybe we want to talk about travel, maybe we want to talk about whatever. Just being able to sit and talk and just having a conversation with each other.
Yeah.
And then bringing on friends to get their opinions and stuff. I'm really, really excited for that aspect of things.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be super enjoyable.
So if anybody's like, you're doing a podcast, it's part of our Kickstarter. We are going to be doing a podcast called Off the Record with Foster the Meeple, but it is a Kickstarter backer exclusive. Now, with that being said, our late pledge is still open. So, and I'm sorry, it's not an exclusive. Let me rephrase. It's for Kickstarter backers. We will release the episodes probably like a year later to the public.
Yeah.
But for the first year, it's just only people who have backed the Kickstarter are going to have access to those. And not only that, they are going to be able to submit topics that we can talk about. It will be a little bit more unfiltered.
Yeah, for sure.
We are not going to...
yeah, there probably need to be like
there might be some swears in it.
There's probably going to need to be an adult like
content
disclaimer
warning.
put on
something
it.
Like that. Because
not that we're going to sit and swear, but
no,
like
we're not sailors per se. But anyways, if anybody's like, you guys are doing a podcast, that's what Jeff's talking about. I will put the link to our late pledge down below. I believe you can just back at $1 and do an add-on if you only want the podcast and not to do like a full pledge or whatever. So anyways, that information is going to be below, but we'll most likely be starting that in the end of January, beginning of February, once the podcast room gets all squared away.
Yeah.
But I am also really excited for that because I think it's exciting to have a new medium to play around with.
Agreed.
Okay, so my next one is to finish my game and to have a physical prototype that I can bring to conventions with me.
Yeah.
My primary goal, initially I was like, maybe level up. It's just putting too much pressure. So I think maybe by Circle DC.
Okay.
Because then Sam will be there and Charlie will be there, and I think
getting David and
David
Liz
will
to have
be, yeah.
on
So
maybe.
like I think that's my goal. And that's in March. Okay. Then I already talked about one of them, which was more vlogs. So the next, I guess the last one is I would like to design some new merch.
Yeah.
Because our merch is old. I don't like the provider that we have right now. And we've been talking about it probably for over a year at this point. So I would like to design some new stuff that is a bit more fitting to our vibe.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's like a goal that I have. I just want to make some new fun merch.
My last one's kind of outside of board games, but so 2024 was kind of the mental health journey for me, and you know that's going to be
still on it.
It's going to be a forever journey, but I'm in a decent place mentally. I mean, I have my ups and downs, but we're on medication now, and you know, off to the races. But this year, I need to focus on my physical health. So a byproduct, unfortunately, of my medication is like...
There's no off switch.
I've lost my food off switch. So like, I've gained a lot of weight. And I know that this is a subjective topic and people are going to look at me and be like, hey, like, you're fine. I understand that. But for me personally, I am just at a weight that I'm not comfortable with. And I want to change that. I used to be a very physically active human being. I played hockey, I played softball, and I've lost all of that. And I want to get camping, hiking, I've lost all of it. And I want to get back to that. So 2025 is the next part of my overall health journey, to focus on a physical health journey with diet, an appropriate diet, and you know, exercise, and getting back to the things like we didn't golf one time last year.
Horrible.
I haven't played hockey in like 3 or 4 years now.
We only pickleballed one time.
We only played pickleball once. I've stopped camping. So I want to get back to all of that stuff. And part of that too just comes with also setting the healthy boundaries between the channel and filming and being able to take time to go do stuff, and not expect all of our free time to be dedicated to channel stuff. But I'm excited for that too. I think it's going to be good. I think that part and parcel is also just going to help my mental health as well. I think it'll help me be less distracted because I'll be tired.
I think it'll just it helps with everything. It improves your mood. It
improves my
your
mood.
Sleep.
It improves my
your energy, like everything.
Yeah,
we did just we have a Peloton on the way.
Yeah, we have a
because
bike
I'm going on the journey too. Because I also need to get. I like don't care necessarily as much about losing weight, more as like getting healthy, because I am like extremely unhealthy.
Yeah, I would echo
so
that. I would echo that sentiment. I mean, I've been talking a lot about losing weight, and that is
my clothes to fit better.
That is a byproduct of this. But I think for me, given I'm approaching 40, and there's going to get to be a point where that journey will be much more difficult.
Yeah.
I'm very much, I want to be heart healthy, and I want to be able to do things when I'm older, physically. So I just think now is the right time to start actually taking this seriously. And we'll see. I mean, I've had these existential moments in the past and kind of done it for a bit and then fallen off again. So we'll see. But I think it's important for the grand scheme of my life going forward that I hammer back on some of this stuff.
It's often easier to set the goals than to do the goals. Mm-hmm. I do think I am. I used to be an avid habit tracker. Mm-hmm. Like I would do it religiously every day. And I think that I'm going to get back into that because it almost like forces you to be like, I didn't drink water today.
Yeah.
I didn't do this today. So like, I think I'm going to get back into that.
It's also one of those things too. Like, the first step is the biggest.
Yes.
Getting started is the hardest part of it. Like once you're in it for a few weeks, then it's, I mean, I used to be an avid runner, and I remember how difficult it was when I first started. But then it got to the point where, like, if I didn't run, my body would be like, it's almost like you have restless legs. And I'd be like, I remember once, this would have been right before we got together. My parents were visiting, and like I wanted to go for a run, and I was like, I cannot deny myself this. And so I was like, hey, I'm not going to go for a run. And like, again, thinking about that now is ridiculous, but like, I miss that drive of, wanting to be outside and wanting to do a bit better by yourself, I guess.
Mm-hmm. All right. Those are the goals. I had a few others on here that I realized I'm like, play more solo games. That's just going to happen for me. And go to less cons, and that also is just going to happen. So that's not really a goal since I already know it's going to happen. But anyways, we would love to know in the comments below, what is a goal that you've set for yourself this year? It could be board game related. It could not be. We haven't done, like a lot of our goals for this year weren't specifically like super board game specific. They're more kind of like channel specific. But like, are we going to do any board game challenges? I don't know. We try and then they fall away. But
I would like to do a 10 by 10,
yeah, like something like that. Maybe we'll save that for a podcast episode.
But those are also difficult,
They are. Although this year we played 32 games over 10 times.
That's true.
Because Jeff played Res Arcana 8 times, 10 times over.
We can just put Res Arcana on the list.
Yeah, I would like to do a 1x80.
But I said I'm cutting back on BGA, so
that's true. That's crazy.
I am sticking to that.
I do think, and I want to say this, and I forgot to write this down. I had thought about this. One thing that we stopped doing our monthly recaps where it's like, we played this many games and this whatever, because I think it's not healthy for me, because I am competitive with myself.
It's the same reason why we stopped doing the Jeff versus Jamie.
Exactly. Because if we only that September where we played 30 games, I was like, that's something that would eat at me. Be like, oh my God, we haven't played enough. Like, what are people going to think that we are not playing enough games? And like, who cares?
Yeah.
And so I just want to focus on not forcing us to play games when we don't feel like playing it, because we were doing that.
Yep.
And it impacts everything.
Yeah, for sure.
It impacts the enjoyment of the game. It impacts learning the games and all that stuff. And so I just think, like, I'm still going to keep my BG stats and whatever, and we'll do the recap. But it's like, if we only play 100 games. Yeah.
Or something. I don't know.
But if we only played 100 games,
because I know you like the stats.
fine.
I don't want you to lose the stats. But
that's the problem.
But yeah, I think that
Addicted to
is
the numbers.
that's important.
Yeah. Anyways, that is everything that we have for you today. Now, if you're interested in buying board games, you should first start by checking your friendly local gaming store. And for us, that is
Boardroom Game Cafe.
If you like what you see,
Please subscribe.
we hope to see you again soon. And now we say goodbye. Goodbye.
Later it is.
Hello, everyone.
Wait.
But we did make a first step. Speaking of New Year's resolutions, we want to get healthier this year because we have been very unhealthy.
Hey, no, come on.
Okay, well, never mind. Spoilers.
Yeah.
Okay, let's take a look.
I need to be able to talk about something.
Like, it was just a lot to me.
It was a lot to manage, Jamie. I get it.
A ton of fun. We had a lot
So much fun we had.
of engagement. It was awesome.
It was awesome.
Jamie
I'm a
is
gabber,
thinking
so
about painting again. What?
might need to scoot ahead
Like
10 minutes.
I get painter's neck.
That is real. Painter's neck is a real thing.
Have ever left a negative comment to someone, or just don't do it.
That's our annual
Okay,
don't be a
hey, just move on.
shout out.
No one ever listens.
Nobody listens. This is just you basically
This is a
saying what you just said.
playthrough of a game. You're experiencing the game.
No one listened to me again.
See people being like, "You played this wrong," and I'm like, "Okay, it's a playthrough."
I know, man. It's.
I know, man. We understand.
I just wish people would, like, get it.